Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I wanted to start this video by addressing a couple of things. The first is that anytime that we have a lull in pricing in XRP or digital assets, or the market is down or flat for an extended period of time, we have a lot of negativity that begins to seep in. And not just negativity, but oftentimes we also begin to see, specifically in the XRP community, we begin to see people start to take shots at Ripple or at XRP. And so I wanted to kind of go over with you for a second my way of thinking on this. But first, before I do that, this does not go under the category of anybody taking a shot at Ripple or XRP. This is just a good, genuine guy. This is the crypto utility guy at Utility Guy 7 who wants to go and take a break, and there's nothing wrong with that. Staring at all of this every day, all day is not for everyone. It doesn't matter if your investment is in digital assets or stocks or bonds. Sometimes it's good to take a break, walk away, in this case, put your digital assets on a safe Ledger NOS and put it up, and don't look at it for a while. There's not a thing in the world wrong with that. But he says, hey everybody, I'm taking a break from crypto Twitter for a short while until the prices catch up with the utility of XRP and the other top 4 utility coins. See you later. And he's got our good friend Han Solo. So there's nothing wrong with this. That's a healthy move on his part. Now, what you also have when the market gets bad is you have people do this type of stuff. Now, this is from Kevin Cage. He said, agreed to all crybabies, put on your big boy pants and understand that what you are invested in, you made the right choice. Back up from looking at mere price after this 18 to 20 month bear market. Follow the fundamentals. And he's tweeting this from XRP Neo at XRP_Anderson, who's a great follow as well. People who complain about the XRP, and this is an example of the type of hits you begin to see when the market gets like this. People who complain about XRP escrow by Ripple has to understand that Ripple uses the escrow as a way to expand the XRP network. Ripple is the only company in the space that really has a strategy to dominate in the future. X-Rapid partner exchanges, way underrated. And see, what he's talking about here this is in reference to people that try to attack Ripple. Oh, you're dumping XRP on the market. Well, if you look at it through that prism, to me, that is an extremely immature way to look at this. The reason that it's immature to look at it that way is that companies like Ripple, they see, or any company, anybody who's been in business knows that when you are running a business, you have what's called liability. The idea that Ripple is trying to run some scheme to just try to dump things on the market and make money and look at all of these people out there we're taking advantage of. That's ridiculous. That is not how responsible business people operate or think, because they have liabilities and things to think about in that regard. Anybody who's been paying any attention to Ripple and the top-notch people at Ripple and the things that they've been doing, these guys are building, and they're building a network right before your eyes. And to look at that in some kind of short-sighted view, oh, you're dumping on the market, that is just pure immaturity. So now I want to back up here for a second, and I want to talk to you just in general about being what you are. Many of you may not even know what you are. If you are invested in digital assets at all, or XRP, you are what's known as a contrarian investor. And contrarian investor is a term that has been used in the stock markets or any kind of markets for years and years and years, but specifically to the stock markets. My father raised me. In fact, I'm bringing this up because my father told me I should talk about this. being a contrarian investor is kind of like when you're growing up in your social life, it's kind of like not being the person that has to follow the crowd. All of the benefits of life, in my opinion, come to those who have the guts not to follow the crowd, not to do what everybody else is doing just because it's the cool thing to do at the time, or just because it's easier or feels better at the time. The prize goes to those who have the guts to go their own way. And that's what a contrarian investor is. For you young people out there who have never heard the term, all a contrarian investor, all that really means is that you're a person who does your own research. You look at the evidence, you look at whether it's a company or in this case a digital asset, you're looking at the whole landscape and you're making a decision for yourself. You're not making a decision because this is what everybody else is saying or that everybody on Twitter is getting negative about it. You've got a conviction that's based on the research that you've done. And so I thought that this would be a good time. Now, the things I'm about to read to you, these are from people in reference to stocks, but it goes the same. I don't care what the investment is. You can be a contrarian investor in bonds or stocks or digital assets or whatever. In this case, we're talking about digital assets. And so if I can remember to do so, I'll insert digital. No, I won't. I'm just going to read it the way it is. But you'll get the point. And I want you to really let this sink in for you, because many of you are at a pivotal moment in your investing life. I think I've always thought, ever since I discovered digital assets and specifically XRP, I knew it was a game changer, and I knew that it would be a game changer for my family. Not one tiny bit of that has changed in my mind. I'm even more excited about it today. Some of the things I've heard in the last 2 or 3 months, I'm 10 times more, maybe 100 times more excited about my XRP investment than I was just 2 months ago. So listen to this and listen carefully, and I hope this helps many of you out there to understand the kind of mentality you need to have and the way you need to think as a contrarian, because it's going to be these are the things that make the difference between the huge winners in life and the losers, because losers are followers, folks. Make no mistake about it. The winners are the ones that go their own way. Ask Bill Gates, ask Mark Zuckerberg. Both of those guys, the way I remember it, they both quit Harvard. Imagine how many people told them they were stupid to quit Harvard and go off on their own path and not do what everybody else was doing and go and play it safe. Those guys went their own way. And I'm not saying that you and I are Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates, but I am saying that you and I have a similar opportunity to what they had, and the timing is exactly right for us. So listen to the things I'm about to say. This is from a guy named Benjamin Graham. An intelligent investor gets satisfaction from the thought that his operations are exactly opposite to those of the crowd. Buy when most people, including experts, are pessimistic, and sell when they are actively optimistic. The best values today are often found in the stocks that were once hot and have since gone cold. And then this is from John Templeton. To buy when others are despondently selling is to sell when others are euphorically buying, takes the greatest, and to sell when others are euphorically buying takes the greatest courage, but provides the greatest profit. Bull markets are born in pessimism, grown in skepticism, mature on optimism, and die on euphoria. The time of maximum pessimism is the best time to buy. The time of maximum optimism is the best time to sell. If you want to have a better performance than the crowd, you must do things differently from the crowd. And then James Montier, humans are prone, listen to this closely, folks. Humans are prone to herd because it is always warmer and safer in the middle of the herd. Indeed, our brains are wired to make us social animals. We feel the pain of social exclusion in some parts of the brain where we feel real physical pain. So being a contrarian is a little bit like having your arm broken on a regular basis. So many of you out there, or just like me, you have had to go through that feeling of, because we are social animals, you've had to go through that feeling of social exclusion, that you're being laughed at while you're investing in digital assets, and that you're not in the crowd. It's like having your arm broken. As he says, it's like having your arm broken on a regular basis, to be pointed at and laughed at, and oh, that's a stupid investment. I read it every day on Twitter from people who probably have bad motives that are trying to just sprinkle out negativity. I always wonder, when I see someone come and try to rain on someone else's parade, I always wonder, well, what is their motive? They took the time to type all of that out. What kind of a motive could someone have to want to steer people away from something? Why would they take their time to do that instead of doing something positive? You always have to ask yourself that question. But as a contrarian investor in XRP, I feel like the thing out of that first line that I gave you, that from Benjamin Graham, he said, an intelligent investor gets satisfaction from the thought that his operations are exactly opposite to those of the crowd. I get excitement that all these jerks won't even mention XRP on CNBC. When I showed you that, there was a video from yesterday where that Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank is seen trying to put down Bitcoin to Anthony Pompliano and going through this whole diatribe about how he doesn't understand it. And then someone digs up a video from 2013 where he explains Bitcoin. He may be more bullish on digital assets and Bitcoin than we are. He understands it so well. He just completely didn't tell the truth in 2019 when he was telling the truth, and probably doesn't even remember doing the video in 2013. When I see those things, it just makes me more and more excited about my investment. So anyway, I just wanted to go through those for you, just so that you can really understand the point in time you are in. What all the negativity that these people are sprinkling out there means nothing. It emboldens me because I've done my research. I know who and what I'm invested in, so they can bring it on. From XRP Crypto Wolf, SBI VC Trade by SBI Holdings is integrating new technology to help it comply with new international user verification standards set by the FATF. The technology is provided by blockchain security company CoolBit X, which has developed the CoolX wallet. The firm aims to offer the product to crypto exchanges and institutions and individuals. Digital assets require solutions that aren't bound by geographical boundaries. So we're excited to implement the Cool Wallet X as a secure system to drive cryptocurrency adoption. Yoshitaka Kitao, the man with the plan. All right, and then from Michael at VAL5 Links, sent me this. Notice this is from Ian Northing at IANBINS. Noise, come on SEC News, where are you at? He's shouting out the SEC. According to Luxembourg Private Equity Association, Ripple's XRP is definitely not a security. I think that speaks for itself. We will move on. And Michael at VAL5 Links also sent me this. And for those of you that have not seen this, I'm not going to go through the whole thread. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. But this guy is on the ball at XRP Center. I mean, really pounding it out. This is a thread that he's put together in response to Corey Johnson's tweet yesterday, where he's talking about how the MasterCard deal is really important to the Ripple's ecosystem. Thread, Dilip Rao explains in this thread attached link the reason behind Corey TV's tweet on MasterCard acquisition of Nets. Nets provides infrastructure for clearing and real-time cross-border payments, faster payments. And this is the tweet from Dilip Rao that he's talking about. But in the world of faster payments, banks will need to forecast the funding required so they can ensure enough is available in advance of payments being processed. But he's got a little thread here where he kind of goes through this. But then if you go back, let me go back to this. But start here at XRP Center and then go through this whole thing. He has really laid it out. I'm amazed by how smart and organized so many of the people in the XRP community are. Next, I wanted to finish with this. Sergeant Obi-Wan sent me this. Could Bitcoin IRA secure the future? This is an article about Bitcoin IRAs, and I wanted to mention to many of you do not have probably never heard me say this. I own some of this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust in my IRA. For if you have money that's in an IRA and you don't have a way to get exposure to digital assets, this is one way that you can do through your IRA. It's called the GB, the symbol is GBTC, and you can go and actually invest in Bitcoin, and this thing has gone up like crazy over the last year. So it's been a great investment for my IRA. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that you are a contrarian investor and you should get satisfaction from doing the exact opposite of what the crowd is doing. I sure do. Thank you for listening.